Greetings, doors, and welcome to another video. So, I decided to go back to Dueling Book and test out other decks that I've already had planned. I've already talked about Tier Elements, which was one of the decks that I kind of wanted to play in this format. Today, I'm going to bring back another deck that I've talked about before the release of Phantom Nightmare, and that is the Goblin Rider deck. As you can see here, I am playing a different build from what I was showing before. I'm playing Kashtira Unicorn now. Uh, and you'll see that as we go along game one. I kind of wanted to make this video because of two reasons. Reason number one, I kind of wanted to talk about Voiceless Voice for a moment because throughout my dueling experience in this past month, I've been struggling more against this deck than any other deck in the format, and that's very hard. Hard to say because the Snake Eye Fire King deck is one of the better decks in the format. Like Snake Eyes as a whole is just a total different beast from every other deck in the game. But I really strongly believe that if Snake Eyes get addressed in somehow, some shape, some form, Voiceless Voice is going to take that spot and it's going to become like the better deck in the format. And I guess I'll explain it as we go along. But yeah, I'm playing the Goblin Rider Kashtira strategy. Uh, so you're probably thinking, what's the purpose of the Kashtira cards? The Kashtira engine is here mainly to XYZ summon. As you already know, Goblin Raiders predicate themselves upon XYZ monsters and using their materials as advantage for your plays. And a lot of people are probably thinking that you have to be playing a rank 3 dedicated archetype or strategy in order to synergize well with goblins. And for the longest time, I thought the same thing. However, as I saw more games being played with other decks and other archetypes and stuff, I just thought to my head, wait, Kashtira is an XYZ archetype. It makes XYZ summons very easily, and it takes very minimal resources. And getting XYZ locked does not matter to you because the whole Goblin Rider theme is predicated upon XYZ summons. But yeah, and now activating Grand Entrance. Grand Entrance works super well with Kashtira because Shangri-Ira still gets its effects during the next standby phase, even if it has no XYZ materials. The only thing the XYZ materials are doing for Shangri-Ira is making it so it cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. That being said, I am using Grand Entrance in order to supplement the Shangri-Ira, and they decide to hard negate with the Skull Guardian. It's a shame I don't have access to any more level 7 monsters, or that I couldn't resolve Unicorn because of Imperm. Otherwise, this talents would have gained extra value because it would have meant that I would have taken away his Skull Guardian, because Skull Guardian is level 7. So that's one huge benefit that the Kashtira engine has. It gives you the ability of just using Skull Guardian as an XYZ material, meaning it dodges prayers of the Voiceless Voice, and it also dodges other cards. In the off chance he tries to use Radiance, we have the Cosmic Cyclone to just get rid of it. So I just decided to draw 2 cards. I will go into battle phase. I attack with the Shangri-Ira. I make Zeus. Like I mentioned earlier, Radiance didn't matter to me because I already had the Cosmic Cyclone. He activates a Fed Veiler. I chain Droplet, and he loses his entire board. And now this is where prayers comes in, and this is the issue that I have with Voiceless Voice at the moment. What would have happened there is because Saravis got summoned, the Low would have been brought back from the graveyard, and then Low would have placed the continuous spell, and then on his next turn, he just has his whole board rebuilt again. And that's one of the biggest issues that I have with Voiceless. Voiceless end boards are not like super scary, but they're very very annoying to deal with because they have so many ways of recuperating like the resources that that they lose when you break their board. And facing a deck like that is kind of like, it's just kind of like really tough to deal with because facing a not so strong board is fine, but when they do it every single turn, eventually they're just going to win the grind game against you. And that's very very important to note. So surprise surprise, I am still playing the Tistinas. Uh, I am playing a 60 card list and I just put in the Kashtira engine alongside it, just for testing purposes more than anything. But I kind of just wanted to showcase you this deck again because I still think this deck is really cool. I think this deck has some merit in to be played, and you're going to notice in this particular duel, Tistinas is really strong against Voiceless Voice. Like, you can say that it is an advantageous matchup for for Tistina, and you'll see why in a moment. You already probably have seen it in the past already, but yeah. So what I end up doing here is I end up on Gossip Shadow, I end up on Armor Fortress, and I end up on Gabonga. That's already a few interruptions, and then you have the Full Armor XYZ, which is another interruption. And what I really like about the this board and this game state is that not only do you have a way to build a board, but you have guaranteed follow up as well. Like, Cloud Exploder can just detach from the Night Lancer or Gabonga, and that can reborn the Dog Assaulter, and the Dog Assaulter gets you a spell for next turn. So that's like 3 free cards that you're getting out of just resolving this effect. So he summons Diviner, I negate here. The reason I negate the Diviner is because he already wasted his normal summon, meaning that in order for him to like keep playing the game, he has to open a way to ritual summon. If he does not open a way to ritual summon, that means that like most of his board, or at least most of his plays, are just going to be halted on the spot. That being said, I make him draw into Prosperity, which is very very unfortunate. Prosperity is pretty much the card that is going to help him getting back into his duel. To be fair, he did have Barrier the Voiceless Voice, and he did have the Skull Guardian. So all he needed to do is just add Saphira, and then just use Saphira to summon Skull Guardian. Or just use the Barrier to grab low, because the Thrust can get him to pre-prep. That being said, I do take his Diviner. He activates Thrust, and then he's Thrust for Evenly Matched, which is kind of unfortunate. Like, he opened Thrust, Talent, and he drew into Prosperity, and that's pretty much gonna keep him on his in this duel. I pretty much resolved the Full Armor XYZ and just put it on the as XYZ summon the Night Lancers, because I'm going to lose my entire board. Sadly, I do not have any more follow up from Breath of the Tistina, nor I have follow up. Well, this isn't follow up, but the Breath of the Tistina is follow up. However, I do still have resources that I can still use. Resource number 1 is the Cloud Exploder. I detached from the Night Lancer because he is using talents to take it. And now he has to choose between taking the Night Lancer or taking the Cloud Exploder. He takes the Night Lancer. Cloud Exploder triggers. It summons Doug. Doug grabs us Entrance. Now he has to use Barrier of the Voiceless Voice. He grabs Saphira. And he does the exact same play that I mentioned. He just uses Saphira. He triggers Aravis. Summons Skull Guardian. And he grabs... Well, he attempts to grab Gradients, which is an illegal play. So he grabs Low. And I pretty much just forgot that he already normal summoned Diviner. So this is a play that he shouldn't be doing. And that's pretty much on my end. That's my bad because now he has a way to resolve that. But to be fair, in all fairness, he did have the Saravis, so his end board probably would have been Skull Guardian plus Saravis, and then the Saravis would have summoned low on my turn. But the big difference here is SP Little Knight, and this is just going to be very detrimental. I activate Entrance, he activates Saravis, I grab the Biker, I try to Talents, he negates, I use the Fallen Tistina, and this is where Tistina has a huge advantage over Voiceless Voice. Voiceless Voice is known for having too many cards on the board, and despite not being able to target or destroy like get rid of the board consistently, we do have a play with the Tistinas. He uses the Radiance to pop these two cards, and now I activate Domain, and I activate Fallen of the Tistina. And now I activate Crystal God. He chains SP. The Crystal God resolves, and everything gets set, and the barrier gets eliminated. Now we summon back Sentinel, we summon Biker, we summon Fortune Tune because this is the only rank 3 I have left. And now I summon SP. And this is another misplay. I take the Saravis here. I should have taken the Skull Guardian because the Saravis was already summoned this turn, meaning that I cannot flip it face up, meaning that I cannot get rid of his board consistently. But yeah. Another misplay that I did was link into SP Little Knight. What I should have done is waited to take the monster and then flip and then link summon for Blackluster Soldier instead. And Blackluster Soldier would have made it very, very hard for him to get rid of because I would have made it so he had 4500 attack, and it's essentially just another Towers monster that can just keep running over his board. So Crystal God comes back. He top decks into another Prosperity. Well, actually, no, he did. Did he use the Prosperity last turn? No, he did not. So that was the Prosperity from last turn. He now grabs Pre-Prep. Pre-Prep gets into Prayers. He flips low. He flips Saravis. He now does Prayer. I do SP. He chains his SP. I chain Demigod. So everything gets flipped. I banish because of SP. He summons the Skull Guardian and he tributes that to his low. I use Discordance of the Tistina to banish the low, so the low does not resolve. He indeed grabs another low. And now he normal summons the low because he hasn't normal summoned yet. And this is the issue that I have with Voiceless Voice. Like, if you try to contest the board and he still has a way to like craft the board again, it's just gonna be really, really difficult to just like win the game because now he's resolving barrier resolves for Saphira. He's going to summon Saravis, and now I can't do anything about this board. Now he remade his board again. One saving grace that I have is the Armor Extracting Fortress. It's a 5000 attack and it cannot be targeted at the moment. I activate Crystal God. He negates. He attacks over Demigod. And now he summons Dynamondo. He tries to use the effect. I put back Torpedo. He now does Saphira and he grabs Skull Guardian. And now he uses Saphira's effect. And now he resummons Skull Guardian. And I pretty much just lost this duel. One way I could have came back is if I ran a second copy of Night Lancer, which I did in the past, but I'm not running it in this build. Because right now the big issue is the Skull Guardian itself. If I can bait the Skull Guardian, then I'm in the clear. However, there is no real way for me to be able to do it. I don't run Underworld Goddess. If I did, I would have just summoned the Mach Speed and then just linked away into Goddess and just use Goddess, linking away the Skull Guardian, and would have negated his entire board. Um, I do have Discordance of the Tistina, which I can banish it to grab back Sentinel of the Tistina. But that's also a mute point because he's just going to negate it with Skull Guardian. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of this duel. I kind of just wanted to talk about this duel for a bit. There was a huge misplay with that extra normal summon with low, but ultimately, he managed to get to do his plays the most optimal way possible, and he did open enough blowouts to like get rid of my board. And yeah, if you guys have any tips or like strategies or ways that you have for dealing with Voiceless Voice, feel free to comment on them. If you want to see this Tistina deck list as well, I'll be more than happy to update on it. But yeah, that being said, this has been another duel. More videos coming soon. Keep practicing and keep dueling.